Let's go. Hi there, Geeks Assembled here. And we are talking about Blake 7. This is Audio Heads, by the way. We discuss audio adventures, and we discuss full cast audio adventures because our friend Lee, he doesn't really like it when it's just narration. So here we have a beautiful full cast audio presentation of Blake 7, starring the original voices, doing the original things. And this was from a few years ago, and it's called The Spoils of War. And yeah, so it was 4 adventures in a box set, and it was great. It was really a fun piece of literature to listen through. And it just, listening to and watching Blake 7, I just had a really long Blake 7 binge. I watched all 4 series of it. It was so good. And I really love Terry Nation. I've just been thinking through, all of the things that he wrote for MacGyver and all of the things that he wrote for Blake 7. And I really like him, and I really like his style, and I like what he thinks. And I know he created the Daleks, but he also did a lot of other things. He wasn't just that one trick pony. Anyway, and of course, because it's relevant, it's all about Paul Darrow in my mind right now. So just FYI, I really love Villa, but I really love Avon too. And so, yeah, let's get started with this. Lee, what did you think of Spoils of War?
Well, to start off with, I mean, you said about, the original cast, there's several cast members what aren't originally in this. For example, Dana is not the original actress.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Josette doesn't want anything to do with Blake 7 anymore. She's an actress. So they've got the wonderful Yasmin Bannerman playing Dana, and you soon forget about Josette. Yasmin, takes over this character, and she really steals it, makes it her own. Also, you have Zen and Orak. Peter Tudorham is no longer with us.
No.
So we have Alistair Locke providing the voice. So, but apart from that, all the original cast members from season 3 are in this. And as you say, this is set after Star 1, after Blake destroys Star 1. And it's fairly early on in season 3 in the TV series, because we found out, I don't know if it's the first story or the second story in this audio set, that Tarrant has only been there 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's early on in season 3 on the TV. So, and I like the way they can fit these stories in, like they did with the Big Finish on Doctor Who. They can fit the stories in between the TV stories, and it's brilliant. As for and it's a 4-story box set. Each story, first 3 stories give, say, like 2 of the main characters like their own adventure, while the other characters just take a back step from the story. But come the final box set, final story, Solus, they're all in it together.
Yep.
Brilliant. So it is good the way they give each character moments to shine in each story, which they used to do on the TV. So it's they haven't lost that. Yeah, I loved Blake 7 when it was on the TV. I was there at the beginning. I was there 8 years old watching it on TV in 1978. And I was distraught in 1981. But
oh dear.
Uh, but it was good that the Big Finish have breathed life back into this sci-fi franchise. It's a shame now that three of the main character actors are no longer with us now. So
Yeah,
it has
Tomlin and
Gareth and Gareth Thomas.
Gareth is gone as well.
So it has really put stop to doing full cast audio dramas with the
Original
crew together. I know they are doing box sets with just like one of the characters or two of the characters, but not the crew of 7. So, which for me, I don't know if I could be interested in that. It's got to be the gang together for me. But going back to this box set, yeah, it's well-rounded, good storytelling. Steve Lyons, I'm just looking here, Christopher Cooper, Sophia McDougall, and George Mann wrote all the stories. And you just get the feel of, because you get the soundscape, you get the sound of the Liberator, Zen. It just feels like you're watching an episode from the TV. You close your eyes and you're there. But the stories, yeah, well written, well acted, well put out there. So that's my opening thoughts. Back to you, Susan.
Yeah, I really I agree. It was pulled out of time, and I guess I didn't hear that it was a different voice for Dana. Yes,
That's what I mean. She's grabbed all that character and she's made it her own.
Yeah.
But you still forget about the original actress.
Yeah. So that's why I thought she was the original actress. And so
doesn't she look? Yeah, doesn't she look a lot better in that picture?
Yeah.
Than she did in Doctor Who as a tree.
Yeah, she did. It's true.
With Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah. And the other thing was these 4 stories sort of tell the story of how fragile even though the Liberator is so powerful, the Liberator and the people involved in the Liberator are very fragile and can be broken really easily. Using all of these little techniques that this story brings. I mean, you think that they're winning because the Liberator survived the war, the Galactic War, with the aliens from outer from the other galaxy, but barely, just barely. And so everything's a little fragile. Season 3 or series 3 was
well, they'd lost the leader.
Yeah.
He was missing in action. So was Jenna.
Yeah.
But two strong character leaders, Blake and Jenna. I mean, Jenna was the
Jenna was the best pilot ever.
Yeah, and she's lost it. She's out there somewhere. I mean, in the first story, Liberation, they're searching for Jenna.
They are. It's
not to be found, of course, but she's
right. And so, they go to this to speak about liberation. They go to this planet where a bunch of people are being used as slave labor and stuff. And the quote that I love from that is that, well, what isn't this ship called the Liberator? I'm like, yeah, come on. I mean, it's just a way of knocking Avon in the head because Avon is so, pragmatic. He's not at all, the kind of, rebel alliance that you think of in Star Wars. He's a bit like Han Solo was in Episode 4 in New Hope, where it's all about the money and all about
what about him?
It's all about him.
It's all about him alone, sat alone
And he
on the
wants
control.
the Liberator, and he wants to be in charge of the Liberator, and he just doesn't care about anything else. But you see his fragility later on. It's so good. Oh my gosh. And there isn't okay, like through the story arcs, there's like there isn't a bunch of Servalan snogging Avon in this, which
Or Tarrant.
or Tarrant. Yeah, yeah, that's right. She did snog Tarrant quite a bit. Yeah, so that was left out, and I think it was left out for a reason, because the story really wasn't about Terran or Avon trying to connect with Servalan to build alliance and to manipulate her to change. It was about these situations, the situation on Solus, the situation in the slave colony, the situation with the people doing experiments on those people, and then the other one was to get the experience on the outpost. And like, okay, so there's 4 fragile moments, and there is like a lot of there's a lot of, you know, it isn't super action packed, but there's a lot of action in it. So it really clipped along. It was 4 hours of delightful Blake 7. It was just like, it was really great. So favorite moments, and if you feel like splitting it up into the stories, go ahead.
Well, the Liberation one, the first one, so the searching for Jenna. For me, Dana, she's also a fresh face in this. She's only been on the Liberator weeks, should we say, and she's rallying the troops, rallying the rebels, which is, she didn't go down to do that.
Right.
They went to search for Jenna.
Right.
But she's rallying the rebels up without realizing that Tarrant's on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
Trying to sort the mess out what Dana's causing. But for me, if I remember, like, this is the story where Avon, yes, he sent them all down there, and he's remained on the Liberator.
Yes.
On his own, and he's sat there talking and pondering to himself, sat alone on the control deck of the greatest powerful ship in the galaxy.
Yeah.
This ship is all mine. Aurak, what was it? Aurak, do I need these crew members? Are they any?
Are they worth anything?
Are they worth anything? I'm thinking, wow, you're showing your true colours already. It's just you're looking after yourself again.
Yep.
But for me, Avon and Villa are the best 2 characters for me in Blake 7. You can't have Avon without Villa.
Right.
Villa the coward, but an ideal of thief and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the way I always like it when Avon and Villa are always clashing, but they can't live without each other.
Right. It's like the Scooby gang. It's like whatever, Fred and Shaggy.
Yeah.
Shaggy is really scared and is just interested in hanging out with Scooby and eating sandwiches.
If it came to it,
Yeah.
I mean, I know how the TV series panned out, but for me, in my mind, I always saw Villa and Avon were the survivors at the end of the last season.
Oh, nice.
Because for me, Villa was a coward. So if Villa heard a gunshot, he'd duck and dive and fall on the floor.
Yeah.
So for me, in my head, he survived. and so
That's
did Avon. And so did Avon.
that's really profound. Yeah,
I mean, the others mostly did cop it, but
it's true.
yeah, Villa. I mean, Avon's always looking after himself, and so's Villa.
Right.
Villa's about himself, safety wise. He's a coward. He don't like to be. He don't like to put his life in any danger. Avon, he just thinks about himself, and he don't care about any of the others. They can go and die.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but the liberation thing, stuck back to that, and then you do eventually. Villa does eventually get back to the Liberator. So Avon brings him back
Right.
after all that deliberating about how they're worth being on the crew. He brings Villa back first.
Yep.
But because he's knew Villa from the beginning. I mean, Villa was the only character to appear in every single episode of Blake 7.
It's true.
Avon came into the second episode, so Villa was all there from the beginning. So, but yeah, it's the first one's quite a good start to the box set. Outpost, the second story, is where Villa and Tarrant takes it on his own head to intercept this message about a weapon or what was it, a weapon or something? I can't remember what it was now. And he takes Villa with him down onto the planet to bargain with this person who knows who knows where this secret weapon is. I mean, to begin with, she mistakes him for Blake because of the hair, as Villa said. It must be the curly hair.
Yeah.
But that story is soon. You soon find out she double crosses them, and as they usually do. Then close enough, the third story. This is a damn good story. This is with the telepathy. What do you call it? Where they experiment on Avon,
like the drugs and
and they create they make him telepathic like Callie,
right.
and Callie can't cope with it because he's constantly talking in her head.
Yeah.
Avon, get out my head.
Yeah.
Which is because she didn't think she'd ever hear any more voices in her head because of all her race had been killed off.
Right.
So this was,
and she described the coming together and the separating and the dance of the voices and how smooth it was and how beautiful it was when the people of her race were speaking to her, but how Avon was just like pounding her. Yeah, I love that difference. I love that subtle difference between telepathic ideology things.
Yeah, that was a great story. I mean, he's in a coma, but his mind is still active, and he's just as you say, pounded her mind. Brilliant story.
Because he's not up to speed yet. I mean, you get it with Avon that eventually, because he's so brilliant, he would have figured out, had they worked together, how to make that telepathy or telepathic connection work for them as friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's to say, Callie, for me, is a wasted character, and she was a wasted character in the series for me. She had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I mean, her first few stories were brilliant because it was sort of centered around what she could do, but then she was just sort of like pushed in the background, and it was just Callie. Callie, can you just talk to someone over there and do that? And I think, well, you could do more than that. And it was a shame that they killed her off.
I agree.
I mean, mostly the actress wasn't available, but you never know. But at least she's available for these audios. And on Solus, the last story, we get Servalan. I mean, we got Servalan in the second story, I think it was, at the very end. But we get Servalan, two Servalans for the price of one.
I know. This is great.
And this is just a ploy and a plan by her to get hold of the Liberator,
Right.
as usual. And Avon falls for the SOS.
It's true.
He's the one who falls for it, and she's they bring her on board the Liberator, and she soon takes over. Zen is no more. Bag. Yes, Servalan is replaced Zen, and she's in charge of the ship. And this one is the action-packed one. This is, they're trying to survive, trying to.
The lack of oxygen was important. I mean, it was like Stargate Universe, the episode called Air, where people were like getting lightheaded and dizzy and sick and stuff and weak and like that was like that was proper Jeopardy. I was psyched about that.
But it was just great to hear Jackie Pierce's voice again as Servalan. She is one of the most iconic sci-fi vixens, villainesses, whatever you want to call it. She just, when she used to come on screen, she just used to, steal out the scenery. She was just there, all the wonderful outfits she used to wear. As
she was like the Julie Andrews of Blake 7. She was really there to completely.
The Julie Andrews.
All the lights were focused on her.
The Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
Servalan was more evil than that.
Well, no, I didn't say. I said that she was that kind of singular beauty and singular presence that anything that you put her in, everybody's attention would be on her.
And Jackie Pierce's voice as well was so recognizable and iconic because she didn't have that just velvety voice. It was just that slightly gravelly, evil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Seducing voice.
Oh yeah.
Like gravelly.
Yeah. And she sounded a bit older because of, she was, but it's still.
Everybody gets older.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was just brilliant that the way she took control of the Liberator so easily as well.
No.
Just like that, and then as I say, it was, and the outcome of it as well, shoving her out of the airlock.
Yeah.
But yeah, four different stories.
Yeah.
4 different types of stories, but it was, as I said, they all take place sort of straight after Star One or the audio Warship, which we reviewed a while back.
Warship took
place after Star One.
Right after.
So yeah, it's some good acting, some good storytelling.
It really was. We've just been discussing it all along, but the thing that was really a part and parcel of this is watching Avon move from, in Warship, he was still like reticent, but then this one, he was like, he stepped up and up and up and up into the place where, because it really was kind of different, the feel of series 2 and series 3, and the way he worked in series 3 as the focal point, and in series 2 he was the foil for the focal point.
Yeah.
And in series 1 he was the foil for the focal point, and that difference was apparent. The person who became the foil for Avon was Terran at some points, and so that was really good. It was like seeing how that would develop, that would start, and and the real gravitas that Paul brought to this audio, and to and to Warship, and definitely it built and built until he was absolutely the center point of the turning world in the series finale, series 4 finale. That was really something. And in Liberation, he was still like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if going and saving these people is worth it. I don't know if any of my shipmates are worth it. I just want this ship and I just want to go. I want to be like the super powerful, super amazing guy with a super amazing ship with 2 freaking great AIs to drive with. And even though I'll probably run into a comet somewhere because I'm a shitty pilot, I'm just gonna go. This is all mine. Yes.
He'll just get Aurak to drive it.
Yeah, that's right. And stuff. And so like there was that, and then in Outpost, he was like, he sent those 2 down, and they and because one looked like Blake and the other one was like, he knew people. I mean, Villa knew some of those folks, those thieves. I mean, he was all familiar with all that sort of.
That woman who
was his
liked him,
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Villa got some action in this one. Anyway.
But he didn't want it.
He did not want it. He was like, I broke up with you. And she's like, it was just a break.
Terrence said, I'm seeing too much of you. What was it? I'm seeing so much of you I don't want to see.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that was really something. And then I mean, fun moments. Yeah, I mean, like the fact that Villa knew all those people, and especially that Paramore or whatever, that was really fun, because Villa, you could see Villa as a different kind of character. He could have been a romantic lead at some point because of this. You could see that they can do that with him. Anyway, so that was fun. And then Close Enough, I really loved I gotta say, I really loved the experimenting with Avon as a telepath, because Avon became more that way. I mean, it added more to his character, and it gave him and Callie something to really, I like I was saying earlier, really they could have worked it out so it would have been more of a dance and less of a bam, like a Glasgow kiss thing. Just all that sort of unity of between Callie and Avon, that would have been so great. And I really loved that. I really loved that they could have done that. had they worked on it. But the effects of that stuff drained away from Avon. Even at the end when he had to jump into the ship, he was still, and Solus, Avon took what, it all became a mind game for Avon. It went from, I'm going to do this just for me, to I'm going to do this, I'm going to send other people in to do dangerous stuff, and then to I have an opportunity to connect with Callie, and then I have an opportunity to actually connect with the Liberator. Like, he could have actually been 100%, even though he replaced Servalan in the matrix of then, he could have actually, literally been the Liberator himself, just that kind of diving into it that way. That was super fun, and I really liked that. And so, and Avon was great with computers. So
yes, he was a computer expert, which they don't really get into that in the TV series.
No, they don't. But the connective, how he connected with the Liberator was a more organic way too. I mean, it wasn't the way he was messing with Aurak and messing with the computer and all of the circuitry and the circuit boards and everything else of all the computers and all the things. Even when he was there with his enemy and he's fighting in that one episode, the guy who had been his nemesis. Anyway, those two came to blows over the computer and the firing systems of this device. Anyway, and he was always there doing tinkery, what do you call it, jiggery pokery things.
Yeah.
And in this time, it's all mental, it's all in his mind. And so I really love that it was that Avon was expanded in this as a character. He was given more stuff.
That's what Big Finish do. The redeemed characters, the right brilliant characterizations of these characters that we know and love. Be it Blake 7, be it the survivors, be it Doctor Who, everything Sapphire and Steel, what they've done in the past. They really know how to write good characterizations and good stories, which sometimes the TV serials of any of these shows sometimes lacked.
Right, it's true.
Yeah,
but they even if they lacked them, it just gives you get even more.
Yeah.
So even if there was like, even if they touched on things in the TV series and they didn't expand it, this gives it so much more depth, and that's fun. And the fact that these were like the same length of time as an episode.
40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it felt like I was watching the show. I get
I just
it now.
I don't understand.
Oh, go ahead.
I just don't understand people out there who say audio drama. Oh, I can't listen to that. Why not? Just close your eyes, use your imagination.
Okay.
As you were just there. You were in the moment. You felt like you was listening to a TV episode.
Right, and I just binged the whole 4 series. I am so super steeped in this. I love Blake 7 right now. It's like everything. I love Paul Darrow, really. I mean, but I love Villa too. I love Villa. He in this one, he was given the opportunity to be a coward, but then he was like, this in the second story, he was a paramour. I mean, like, that is fun.
I mean, also as well, you see a lot of this in TV series what followed after Blake 7, like Farscape, sort of Firefly.
Oh
It's
yeah, Firefly is basically Blake 7 again.
yeah, well, so's Farscape. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, and so you've got to say thanks to Terry Nation and thanks to
Yeah.
Blake and the show for influencing these other shows what came
Yeah.
along afterwards.
Yeah, and bless Ben Browder and bless Alan Tudyk and all those people, and of course Nathan Fillion. Yeah, I think that those guys are great.
Yeah.
But Blake 7 was as beautiful. I mean, I don't know why it took me so long to binge the whole thing, but here we are, and now I've done it, and now I'm super psyched, and oh my god, why isn't this stuff mandatory, compulsory?
You're supposed to learn it in school.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, yes, absolutely, for crying out loud.
Can I just say?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know Big Finish do the downloads and physical copies of what they release, and I can see the future of Big Finish just doing downloads the way things are going, and I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest, because give me the physical copy, because the artwork. I mean, look at the discs.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Look at that, Paul. It's just you can't beat the physical copies.
Oh my gosh.
But I've just got a funny feeling within maybe 2 years it's just going to be downloads, and I just don't know what I'm going to do then, because I'm not a download type of person.
So great, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little box of artwork, isn't it? I mean,
It
the
really is.
amount of effort what's put into these covers and discs and physical all the way for me.
Yep. I mean, you can download the imagery too, but
it looked
again, you're right. It is a box of artwork.
Yeah, it just looks so nice on the discs, and
Yep.
but it's just the way things go.
Oh, poor Lee.
I know. What will I do?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a really good big question. So let's see. This one was made in 2016.
I've got 2017.
2017, and it was and I'm really glad that they were able to do that while Jackie Pierce and Paul Darrow and stuff were still around. That was lucky.
Yeah.
And but I do know that Tuberman, what was it? Is that what his name was? The one who did the Zen and Aurak voices?
Peter
Tudenham, yeah, he was great, and the fact that in the behind the scenes on the show, there was this like discussion of like how he split up his voice for both people, for both characters, both Zen and Aurak.
Oh, you mean on the audio? That was Mark Ayres who did the voices for that.
No,
Alistair Locke, should I say?
No, I meant in the TV show, and I was just going to say,
it was Peter in the TV show. Yeah,
I was going to say that
I'm getting confused.
All right, follow me. I was going to say that Alistair Locke had to do the same thing. He had to separate the voices. He had to capture the nuance of Aurak and the nuance of Zen, and he did it, and it didn't sound any different. I mean, and the fact that the way Alistair Locke says information, It was like, because of the sound effects behind it, it was exactly like Zen. It was exactly like Zen.
It's a shame. It's a shame we won't get to hear Slave, but
I know.
well, actually, I think we do, because the BBC recorded 2 audio dramas back in the 90s,
Yeah.
and it was the season 4 crew.
Oh, well, then we'll have to find those.
Hold on.
Oh, Lee, what you got there?
Oh.
Lake 7 BBC audios? What? Oh my
The
gosh.
radio adventure.
And there are 2 of them, you say?
There's 2. There's the Sevenfold Crown.
Okay.
And the Cinderton Experiment. And I'm finding it difficult because it's silver and I can't really see it without my glass. And we've got to the old Paul Darrow, Stephen Spacey, Jackie Pierce, Michael Keaton, and I think Peter Tuddenham was alive when he did this. So I think, if I remember, it's nice little. It's all that and it's nice.
Yeah.
But, I'm just trying to find the who. Right. Both stories was written by Barry Letts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You had Paul Darrow, Michael Keaton, Stephen Pacey, and Jacqueline Pierce. Dana was recast again because she didn't want anything to do with it.
Who
Angela Bruce
in this one?
Angela Bruce, who we all know
as Brigadier Bambera.
Yes, and Sue Lynn was recast because Glynis Barber didn't want to do it either. Paula Wilcox played her.
Okay, I don't know that.
She's a well-known actress from done loads of comedy in the 70s. Peter Tuddenham.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it was season 4 crew members in this. So yeah, the Sevenfold Crown and the Cinderton Experiment. If you can ever get hold of them.
I will we'll do that for a future audio heads adventure.
They were broadcast in 1998 and 1999.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So 17 years after the show ended.
Yes, that was when the first new Blake 7 came back in audio form.
And it took them 17 years. That's revelatory because they shouldn't have taken that long.
Yeah. I know, but there you go.
Yep.
So there's something you can look up. I mean, I don't think they were well received, but hey ho, it's Blake 7.
Yeah. Okay. So let's pencil those in for the future.
Yeah. I'm up.
And let's see. This. I don't really recognize any of the other names of any of the other cast members. Stephen Boxer, Daniel Collard, Keith Drinkle, Sophia Hernandez, Sarah Powell, Charlotte Watson.
And Drinkle has been in a few Big Finish, in Doctor Who.
Okay.
I'm sure some of the others have as well.
Okay.
But Keith Drinkle's name stands out to me because
Yep. All right. And the 4 authors again were Steve Lyons, Christopher Cooper, Sophia McDougall, and George Mann. And what's great about the one written by Sophia McDougall was the fact that it was it was written in a woman's voice by a woman, and it really you know, the baddie was a woman, and the woman who was in charge of the experiments, and Callie, and then, you know, they basically, you know, pulled Avon into that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that was really well written, and I really like that they kept writing Servalan as you know, as powerful and as dark as she was. And I love the interplay between Villa and his girlfriend, whatever her name was, and what was her name? Imra, or anyway, I can't remember. Anyway, his girlfriend, that was really well written. It was, you know, properly manipulative, properly, you know, her you know, harrowing, and you know, you felt like maybe maybe it was just all sex, you know, it wasn't really a heartical kind of relationship, it was more a physical kind of thing. And so that was fun. And then there was you know, so anyway, like these 4 stories were different and wonderful, and it was like it did make a lot of sense to put them together though in a box set.
Mhm.
Because
Well, this was the first Blake 7 box set,
yeah,
because they did 2 series of single adventures. You know, one with Gareth Thomas as Blake and Jenna, and then they did a second box set with Avon in charge, because Gareth Thomas had passed by then.
yep.
And then they went into box sets. So this was series 3.
Yep.
With more stories. I mean, the single ones, I think there was there was about 6 stories released in each season of just the single story discs.
And were those the Liberator Chronicles?
No, the audio dramas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we reviewed one. I think we reviewed Fractures a few years back.
That's right. Click, you're right.
But then they decided to do a box sets instead.
So what else do you want to talk about this?
Well, you've got to give a big thumbs up to the directors on this. There was 2 directors, John Ainsworth and Nigel Fairs. They did a damn good job in recreating the Blake 7 feel.
Yeah, for sure. 100% agree.
I'd love to know, because we know what Paul Darrow is like with chewing scenery. I'd love to know how they got on with him chewing in the booth with a script. It's not Richard III. Good old Paul.
So great.
But yeah, that's all I can say on this. I enjoyed an enjoyable box set.
So what's your final say and score?
A classic sci-fi series brought back to life by a brilliant company, Big Finish. Brilliant actors willing to reprise their roles. What, admittedly, they always say they got typecast, but hey, the fans want it. The fans got it. So for me, 4 great stories, 4 different stories. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to give it 10 teleport bracelets out of 10.
Nice. All right. Well, I loved it. I I loved it. It just felt like I was just pulling down the DVDs and throwing them in and watching them. Even though unlike you, Lee, I enjoy some file. I enjoy getting them in the file form, and
Yeah, not for me.
I am really glad that I had these files, and let me tell you, the beautiful artwork is beautiful, and the beautiful acting was beautiful. What a group, and how much fun to have this this before us. And so yeah, I will give this 10 mental connection devices to Zen and Aurak out of 10. Also 10 because it really was just sublime. It was, I mean, I don't know why it took me so long to fall in love with Blake 7, but I am completely in love with Blake 7 now, and I really do think that yeah, I agree with you, Lee, that Firefly and Farscape really are the second and third iterations of that that kind of feel. It isn't like Battlestar, and it isn't like Star Trek, and it isn't like this is more a well-developed universe, not so much needed to be explored. These are just people in sort of, it's about the relationships, and it's about the attitudes, and it's about the drama that comes from, and especially since, I mean, Farscape, it was Canadian, and Firefly was American, but you got to hand it to, you know, to Terry Nation and to, well, these four writers for being, you know, capturing that British ability to be super dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really love that old BBC thing, you know, you put all these things into a melting pot, and you boil it for 1,000 years, and what do you got? You got the perfect recipe for drama. And I hate to just quote that, but that really was the truth. And so and then that was a BBC America advert, I think. Anyway, so I really enjoyed this, and I think that you will too. And I'd like to thank you, Lee, for joining me. And even though it's Facebook blackout, well done for setting this up on a different platform. I'm proud of you. And hello, Patty. Hello, kitty cat. And
Now, can I say before you say anything? Here we go. Information. Over to you.
that is so great. And that the way Zen, okay, I'm going to go back a ways into this podcast, but the way Zen says information inspired the way that some of the things in Doctor Who, the new series, say information. Zen became an iconic character. I mean, that wasn't the way that you hear British computers speak in the prime or whatever the British, quintessentially British computer companies created their things. This is Zen itself. Zen as a computer, as an AI, as a you know, navigational system, or whatever he was all of those things.
As you say, he's a character, and he was one of the 7.
Yeah, he was. And so
as was Aurak.
Right. As
people forget that, they always say, well, there's only 5 people.
No, but then the way, yeah, and anyway, so he inspired for further characters in the future. and further baddies, in fact, because Zen wasn't always, especially in this one, he became Servalan, which is, you gotta hand it to him. That's quite a transition. We'd like to say that he's gender fluid then. So anyway, he's great. Anyway, let's get together and do some more of these. I don't know what we're doing in a fortnight. Sorry.
Hopefully maybe some, because it's lead up to Halloween, maybe something spooky.
Something spooky, yeah. Yeah, that might be an idea. And thanks for joining me, Lee. Please do like this video. There's nothing that you if you don't like Blake 7, you won't like this video. If you've made it all the way to this end point, we thank you. And we'd like to suggest that you watch Blake 7 and that you get this Spoils of War if you can. Find it. It's great. And please subscribe to our channel. We've got 400 subscribers, and we'd like more, and we'd love to have you. And we put out stuff like 2 or 3 times a week sometimes. I mean, all the way. So great. Anyway, so yeah.
You know what? This part of the video, we should have Zen say information.
We should. Information. Would you subscribe to our video? Information. Would you hit the notification bell so that you can receive
that's nice and loud.
Yeah, you can have your videos come to you in a daily feed. Information. Please follow us on all social media, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, which is down. Facebook's broken. And so you'll know when this video was recorded, because this was the day that Facebook went down. And we're on, and Lee has an Instagram, which is also down, and apparently WhatsApp is down, and so their whole system is. And then also, join us if you can. We are fun people, and these are fun things that we get to do together, and we geek out about stuff. I really loved geeking out about like telepathy and that unity thing. I think that was fun. One time I even cosplayed as Callie on one of these podcasts. It was great.
Oh, right.
I remember that from a while ago. Maybe that was from Worship, I think, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, the great things that we do here, join us. And with all of that, we'd like to say welcome to October. It's spooky month, and yeah, we should do some spooky stuff in a fortnight. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.